It is my distinct privilege to welcome you to the 15th Annual Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame Press Conference, where we reveal who our lifetime voting members selected to the public. Now, before I get started, I have some facts about 2001, the year that we started 15 years ago. In 2001, I was in the first grade. Harry Potter was on the big screens. Bands like Aerosmith and U2 dominated the Billboard Top 100. And my dad, right over here, had a full head of hair. So, without further ado, here is our president and MC for the evening, the president of the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Jack Tany.
Lose your day job. Before we do our Pledge of Allegiance, could we have a moment of silence for Sunny Means? Thank you. If you could rise, the flag is right over here for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sonny Means passed away a few days ago. His memorial service was this morning. He was a tremendous multi-sport athlete at Saginaw High. He went on to become a longtime basketball coach. He was inducted into our Hall of Fame in 2005. As Sam mentioned, this is our 15th annual press conference. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Sullivan's Black Forest, Fabiano Brothers Distributing for this afternoon's food and drink. If you haven't seen our brand spanking new electronic touchscreen kiosk, stop by that room and check it out. It's there might be a crowd in front of it. If there is, come back and check it out. There's a lot of information in there about our organization, about our inductees, their testimonial speeches, their acceptance speeches, everything. It's very well done. Yo and Yo, we work with a local company to have it done, and it's very cool. We continue to add information to that kiosk, so if there's something you'd like to see, just let us know. Along with the class of 2016, which we're going to introduce in a second, we also have the privilege of honoring some young people, which we do every year. And I'd like to announce their names. Winning our annual scholarship, which is named the Team 1 Credit Union Scholar Athlete Award, is Nicholas Rapley of St. Charles High School. He participated in football and track for the Bulldogs, and he'll be recognized at our banquet this fall. He received a $1,000 scholarship from our organization. The winners of this year's Dr. Tom Slade Athlete of the Year Award for 2015-16 school year, Jason Russell and Loren Dietrich. Jason was an outstanding football, basketball, and track performer at Nouvelle Catholic Central High School. And Hebner excelled in volleyball and track for Swan Battle. Jason's mother, Margot, is with us tonight. Thank you for attending. Finally, we ventured into something new this year, thanks to Alice Buckballer, who was a 2015 Hall of Fame inductee. She earmarked money from the Colby McKee Thayer Foundation to help high school girls in Saginaw County participate in summer sports camps. So she came to us. And a committee made up of our female board members from our organization today established criteria, they solicited and screened applications. Happy to say 8 young ladies submitted applications for that, and I'm happy to report we're able to financially assist 3 young women to participate in summer sports camps. Those 3 are Macy Lukroft, Riley Dotson, and Brooke Keck, all from Chesney Union High School. Can I get a round of applause for these hardworking young people? Now go on. to announce the class of 2016. We have 8 individuals and a couple teams, and we constantly receive feedback on our organization because we're guided by the over 1,000 lifetime voting members. And a number of them asked us to increase the size of our induction class and to focus on the contributors category. Because if it weren't for a number of them, we wouldn't be here today. And which you'll find out in just a little bit. So we do so, we increase the size of our induction class, and we'll monitor at the end of the year to see how that goes. But so we've got 8 individuals and a couple teams. The first inductee I'd like to mention is Carl J. Bauer Jr., better known as Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer was born May 18th, 1908 in Saginaw. He earned 9 varsity letters as a standout athlete in football, basketball, and track at Arthur Hill. He was a little busy at Arthur Hill because he was also captain of the Letterman's Club, president of the Booster Club, he was the class treasurer, and he was the editor-in-chief of the Legenda. He was a busy boy. He graduated from Arthur Hill in 1926. He'd go on to play 1 year of football as a member of Alma College's MIAA championship team. He later played 3 seasons at the University of Michigan, and he alternated between guard and tackle. In 1931, he began a distinguished 30-year officiating career. He started in high school ranks, coached basketball and coached football, even coached a state championship finals in basketball. He started out doing MIAA and Mid-America Conference games until 1942. That's when Big Ten Commissioner Tug Wilson, he named Bauer to the officiating staff. His full-time job, he was a professional engineer, but he was well known throughout the Midwest as one of the finest Big Ten officials. During his 15 years as an umpire in the Big Ten, from 42 to 57, he worked from coast to coast, working all sections of the United States in non-conference games. He also worked the Cotton, Sugar, Orange, and Rose Bowl football games. There's been no other referee from our area that has achieved success as Jack Bauer. He wasn't done. In 1958, National Football League Commissioner Bert Bell appointed Bauer to the league's officiating staff. He worked 3 seasons in the NFL before retiring in 1961. In 1977, he received the University of Michigan's Distinguished Alumni Award. He's been inducted into the Arthur Hill Letter Winners Hall of Fame. That happened in 1980. Jack Bauer passed away in 1977 at the age of 69. Joining us tonight is his son, Jim Bauer. We have a round of applause for Jack Bauer. Second individual inductee is a gentleman by the name of Pat Brady. Pat Brady, who I knew of before we started this Hall of Fame bit, we became good friends. I thought I knew a lot of people in Saginaw County. Pat knows twice as many as I do. Pat is a good friend, and he's a good Christian man. We've got a side bet. We're going to speak at each other's funerals. Pat was born October 3rd, 1931 in Saginaw. He earned 10 varsity letters at St. Andrews High School. Played 4 years of football and baseball and 2 years of basketball. At St. Andrews, he played on the Bulldogs' undefeated football teams in 1947, 1948, and 1949. They would capture mythical Class C state championship each year. Pat tallied 32 career touchdowns and added 223 points in football as a 168-pound running back. He earned high school All-America honors his senior year. On a basketball court, he helped St. Andrews the state quarterfinals during the 1947-48 season. He received full scholarship offers in football from Notre Dame, Michigan State, South Carolina, and Arizona State. He went to Michigan State and played freshman football for Dan Devine before serving in the United States Navy from 1951 to 55. While in the Navy, he played football for the U.S. Naval Station in 52, and then he was player manager of the Navy Seabees baseball team in 1953. That was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. How cool is that? How cool is that? Pat would go on to play both football and baseball at Alma College from 56 to 58. He was the team's MVP in football in 57. That same year in baseball, he was all MIAA, and he compiled a .346 batting average. Played with Jim Northrup, taught him everything. He helped lead Alma to 3 MIAA baseball titles. While in college, this is when he was in college, he was an assistant basketball coach for Alma while he was in college. That's how much he loved sports. Also in 1957, he played summer ball for Strand Barbecue in the Saginaw City Baseball Federation. Batted .460. He earned Class A All-State honors from the American Amateur Baseball Congress. He would spend 30 years in secondary education as a teacher, assistant principal, and coach in the Bay City school system. He retired in 1993, and he was one of the founding members of the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame. Pat joins his nephew, golfer Steve Brady, in our Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Brady. Again, he'll be speaking at my funeral. He's in great shape. Third individual inductee, Mr. Loren Dietrich. Loren Dietrich was born in Saginaw, and he was a stellar lineman in football from 1947 to 1948 at Arthur Hill High School. He was a 6'1", 195-pounder. He earned Class A All-State honors his senior year for the Lumberjacks. He was also named to Arthur Hill's all-time football team. Loren also played 2 years of varsity baseball at Arthur Hill before going on to Central Michigan, where he was a 3-year starter at linebacker for the Chippewas. I always have to say Central Michigan because it wasn't a university, it was a college back then. Loren earned all conference honors in both 51 and 52, and he was Central Michigan's first ever football MVP, and that's a mouthful. Loren would go on to coach and teach at Michigan Lutheran Seminary High School here in Saginaw from 1969 to 1994. Racked up a solid 144-83-3 record in his 25 years of coaching the Cardinals varsity football team. His MLS teams made the playoffs 6 years under his helm. Michigan Lutheran Seminary won the Class D state championship in 1986, 36-24 victory over Fowler in the Pontiac Silverdome. Doing so thus became the very first high school in Saginaw County history to win a state championship in football since the playoffs were enacted. For his efforts, Loren was named Michigan High School Athletic Association Class D Coach of the Year in 1986. He was elected into the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association in 1989. He coached both sons, Joe and Mark, and he watched his grandsons, Caleb, Tom, and Stephen, play football at Michigan Lutheran Seminary. How cool is that? Loren had also coached baseball at seminary for 11 years, girls track for 9 years, and boys track for 2 years. He was inducted into Arthur Hill Letter Winners Hall of Fame in 1994. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Loren Dietrich. 195 anymore, are you? It's in good shape. Fourth inductee. It's actual an organization, the Forney Club of Saginaw. Thus far in our organization, we've inducted individuals, coaches, contributors, and teams. Forney Club of Saginaw is our first organization. We're one of the oldest and most historic civic organizations in Saginaw County history. The organization takes its name from the Honorable Joseph W. Forney, who served in the House of Representatives for 12 consecutive terms. Forney Club was founded in 1923 by 70 prominent businessmen, and Forney was named the club's first honorary member. The mission of the Forney Club is to support education, youth athletics, and the general community welfare by action, word, and deed. The organization is involved with the building and fundraising for Arthur Hill High School's Memorial Stadium in its inception in 1949. They assisted with the funding of the construction. The Forney Club announced it would use Memorial Stadium as its site for an annual football game called the Red Feather Game, to raise funds for Saginaw County's United Fund Community Chest, which is known today as the United Way of Saginaw County. That's how historic this organization is. That initial effort began an 18-year series which raised over $100,000 for our community. The inaugural Red Feather Game took place on September 20th, 1952. It pitted Central Michigan College against St. Ambrose. And Loren Dietrich happened to play in that game. How cool is that? Central Michigan would go on to appear in 14 additional Red Feather games. Due to scheduling conflicts, Alma College and Ferris played in the 1960 Red Feather game. The Forney Club announced in the early 70s that it would contribute its Red Feather game net revenues to area charities and athletic organizations. The game was renamed the 40 Charities Classic in 1971, hosting Alma College and Ferris State for 2 years. Following the 72 game, the club fulfilled its mission and concluded the annual event. They brought it back. 1997, the Red Feather Classic was revived by the Forney Club as a charity fundraiser. They generated net proceeds, and the new tradition was established to raise funds specifically for youth athletic programming throughout Saginaw County. They've also assisted our Hall of Fame. Saginaw Valley State University beat Michigan Tech 45-28 in the revival of that Red Feather Classic. And Saginaw Valley would go on to appear in both 98 and 99. In 2000, the Forney Club elected to involve high school teams for the first time. We've got some of their memorabilia in our Hall of Fame room. Arthur Hill High School hosted Midland High School in that inaugural high school football game. Regional high school football teams would host that game at Arthur Hill Memorial Stadium, That lasted through 2010. In 2011, the Red Feather Charities Classic returned to the college arena once again, with Saginaw Valley State University becoming the annual host team of the Red Feather Game. The home opener each year at Saginaw Valley at SVSU's Wicks Memorial Stadium is the Forney Club's Red Feather Charities Classic Showdown. I'm proud to say that I'm a member of the Forney Club. 2 of our board members are past presidents of the Forney Club, John Morey and Kevin Schultz. But I thought this is cool. Tonight are a number of Forney Club members. If you gentlemen could stand, you guys could stand. There's a number of them here. It's a very cool organization. They do a lot in the community. Awesome food at their meetings, too. 5th inductee, a gentleman by the name of Dale Gooden. Dale Gooden went from Arthur Hill Trade School, where he started over to Arthur Hill High School to finish his senior year. When he did that, he was talked into joining a recently organized lumberjack swim team. And little did he know that he would spend the next 65 years connected to the sport of swimming in one form or another. 1944 Arthur Hill graduate, he served 2 years in the U.S. Navy before becoming a volunteer American Red Cross water safety instructor and YMCA aquatic program leader from 1946 to 1991, 45 years. For 10 years, Dale volunteered as a merit badge counselor of swimming and life saving for the Boy Scouts of America. From 1954 to 1991, he was a volunteer YMCA swim team coach, winning numerous Northeast District championships, including the 1967 Midget State Championship. From 1948 to 2016, a span of 68 years, Dale served as a swimming official on both the high school and college levels. Works in the Big Ten as a swimming official. 1971, he received the Charles Potts Memorial Award for his contributions to YMCA of Michigan. From 1973 to 85, he served as an assistant swim coach, YMCA's Camp Timbers. And in 1974, Dale was one of 6 inaugural members inducted into the Saginaw Swimming Hall of Fame. 1988, he was awarded Saginaw's Gold Seal Proclamation. That was in appreciation. His 35 years as a boys and girls swim coach at the Saginaw YMCA. 3 years later, he received the National YMCA Letter of Recognition acknowledging his outstanding contributions and service to the Saginaw community. He got that from the National Aquatic Director. He was also recognized by the Saginaw Bar Association with his prestigious Liberty Bell Award for his community service and dedication. He was inducted into Arthur Hill Letter Winners Hall of Fame in 2011. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dale Gooden. "65 years. Your 6th individual inductee, Mr. Tony Jackson. Tony Jackson had a splendid athletic career at Nouvelle Catholic Central High School. Participated in basketball, track, and football. Earned 8 varsity letters. He was on state championship teams in both basketball and track and field for the Panthers. He captured individual state championships in both the 100 and 200 meters, both his junior and senior year at Nouvelle. His top times in a 40-yard dash, 4.3. That's cooking, 4.3. 100-yard dash, 10.7. However, most know Tony as the explosive running back. He earned All-State and All-America honors. When he graduated in 1989 from Nouvelle, he had records for career touchdowns with 75 and rushing touchdowns with 4,649 in his 3 standout years. I remember vividly his first game at Nouvelle on the varsity. Where is Tony? I seen him earlier. Douglas MacArthur. Tony ran for 3 touchdowns. Douglas MacArthur was loaded with talent. Tony ran by 3 touchdowns. His first varsity football game. He received several scholarship offers and decided on Vanderbilt University. He was a 2-year starter at tailback for the Commodores. His career statistics include 1,532 rushing yards, 313 attempts, 4.9 average every time he touched the ball. He had 7 rushing touchdowns. His longest run was a 69-yarder against Duke in 1993. He gained over 100 yards rushing 4 times in a single game rushing record, 128 yards versus Navy in 1992. Tony is the Vanderbilt career leader in kickoff return average, 23.6 yards. He ranked second all-time in kickoff return yardage with 2,004, as well as kickoff returns, total kickoff returns of 85. Tony has the second longest kickoff return in Vanderbilt history, 97-yarder against Duke. And his 24.8-yard kickoff return average in 1992 is second best ever by a Commodore. He also ran track for Vanderbilt and finished second in the NCAA in the 60-meter dash. Tony would go on to play in the Canadian Football League. He played with the British Columbia Lions in 1994, the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 1995. He has a Grey Cup championship ring. All those accolades from Tony, and I covered Tony when I was at Saginaw Township Times. This is what floored me. And I know it will for Coach Walderzak. Tony is 5'8" and 176 pounds when he was at Vanderbilt. He bench pressed 375 pounds. But he also lifted 508 pounds from the squat position. 5'8", 176 pounds. He joined us, came all the way from Tennessee to join us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Jackson. Our seventh individual inductee is Mr. Paul Walderzak. And Paul was a solid three-sport athlete at Arthur Hill, where he graduated in 1974. He wrestled one season, participated in track and field for 3 years, and he threw the shot put 56.6 his senior year. He won the indoor meet at Central Michigan University. People remember Paul Walderzak. He was born to play football and coach football. He played football for 3 years for Arthur Hill as a 6'3", 245-pound offensive tackle. He was a key member for the Lumberjacks Class A state championship team in 1973 that was undefeated and unscored upon. I was talking to his son earlier and got my hands on this Paul Walderzak photo from high school, and his calves were like this. And I'm wondering how many people he leg whipped with those calves. Paul was named All Saginaw Valley, All Area, All State by the United Press International. He received several scholarship offers before accepting a full rights athletic scholarship to the University of Nebraska. During his playing time at Nebraska from 74 to 77, Cornhuskers finished in the top 10 twice, and they spent time as the #1 ranked team in the nation. He went on to coach football at Standish Sterling Central High School for 32 years. During that time, he racked up a record of 175, 128, and 1. You probably remember that one tie, don't you? He had 6 league titles, 11 playoff appearances, 3 district titles, and 1 semifinal finish when the Panthers finished 12-1 in 2008. Paul was named Associated Press Coach of the Year for Division 5-6 in 2013. He was named Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Regional Coach of the Year 5 times. He's entering his 38th year of coaching the track and field at Standish Sterling. His team has produced state qualifiers in the throwing events 26 times, including 6 state champions and 1 state record holder in the 400-meter dash. Paul's continued to compete in the Masters powerlifting and track and field events, winning 8 state championships in the discus and shot, 16-pound shot. In 2004, he placed 3rd nationally in the shot and was named Masters All-America at the age of 49. He was inducted into Arthur Hill Letter Winners Hall of Fame in 2005 and elected in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2011. His older brother Mike was inducted into our Hall of Fame in 2009. They become just the 3rd brother combination in our Hall of Fame, joining Smokey and Pat Boyd and Sam and Lefty Franz. Some great lineage. Besides head coach George Eiler, Paul joins Terry Yerk as just the second player from that great 73 team to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. The entire 73 team was inducted in our inaugural class in 2002. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Walderzak. Our 8th individual inductee, Vicki Lefevre White. Aren't you glad you're going with white because you're last? You're on there. Before she was known as Blair White's mother, she was known as one of the area's finest swimmers. Vicki Lefevre began her long and outstanding swim career at the age of 10, where she competed at Saginaw YMCA. She set and reset at least 18 swimming records at the YMCA, as well as the city parks and recreation meets from 72 to 78. Vicki was named Outstanding Swimmer at the Saginaw Y in 73. She went to St. Stephen's High School and she set school records in the 100, 200, and 500 freestyle events, in both freestyle relay events. In 1974, she qualified for the state meet and claimed a pair of 4th place finishes and a 6th place finish. St. Stephen's only had 2 girls on their team. And as a team, they finished 10th out of 87 schools competing. Those 2 girls, and at the time, all 4 classes swam together as one. St. Stephen's finished 10th because of Vicki. Vicki would go on to earn the prestigious Raymond Hart Award in 1974 as the top female prep swimmer in the Saginaw area. Try this one on. She became the first female athlete from Saginaw County to receive an athletic scholarship to a Big Ten university. We have had exceptional athletes come from this county. She was the first to receive an athletic scholarship. That's pretty incredible. At Michigan State University, she earned 4 varsity letters. She set 3 freestyle records during her freshman year. First year on campus, 3 records. Vicki eventually earned All-America honors as a senior in the 200-yard freestyle relay and 400-yard freestyle relay. When she graduated in 1979, she was team captain and owned 4 individual team records and was part of 3 relay team marks. The 7 Michigan State records she established for the Spartan swim team came in the 200, 500, 1,000, and 1650 freestyle events, and is a member of the 200, 400, and 800 freestyle relay teams. She did her best at the big meets. At the Big Ten championship meet, she established an MSU record in both the 100 and 200 yard freestyle. Additionally, she swam in the Michigan Team Swim Championship meet during the 1975-76 season, and she broke pool records in the 50-yard freestyle and 100-yard freestyle. In 1982, she became the first female inducted into the Saginaw Swimming Hall of Fame. And again, she comes from great lineage. Her father, Len Lefevre, was a member of those great St. Pete's basketball teams that we inducted. Ladies and gentlemen, Vicki Lefevre White. Congratulations on Blair, Dr. Blair White. First of 2 teams. First, Frankenmuth State Championship football teams, 1968, 1969. They recorded back-to-back 9-0 seasons, 1968-69. They won the state's mythical Class C state championship, both seasons from the Associated Press. The Eagles, under head coach Bud Tompkins, they turned in a 7-0 record to win the Thumb B Conference in 68. Finished 9-0 overall. Outscored his opponents 194-19. Along the way, they posted 7 shutouts. They beat Michigan Lutheran Seminary, sorry Loren, Cass City, Laker High, Carroll, Bad Axe, Sandusky, Vassar, and Marlette before beating Otisville Lakeville by 1 point in the season finale. For the season, Frankenmuth had 114 first downs while allowing just 43. That's pretty impressive. But it was their defense which got them. They made their mark on defense. They intercepted 13 passes, recovered 10 fumbles, recorded 3 safeties, and tallied 6 touchdowns just on defense alone. Dave Trankline earned All-State First Team honors, and Lauren Rustern was an honorable mention selection for that 68 team. 1 year later, the Eagles did it again. They grabbed the Thumb B title with, again, another 7-0 mark before finishing 9-0 overall for the second straight Class C state championship. This time they topped their opponents, outscored them 400 to 104. They averaged 44.4 points a game. They opened the season with a 36-22 win over Seminary. Sorry, Lauren. Before rolling up wins against Bad Axe, Carroll, Laker, Vassar, Marlette, Sandusky, Cass City, and again, Otisville Lakeville. For the season, they recorded 146 first downs and allowed 84. But again, it was that defense. Recovered 24 fumbles, intercepted 17 passes for the year. That's quite remarkable in a 9-game season. Ralph Munger and Kirby Goodwin both earned All-State First Team honors, with Tom Engel, Rick List, Chip Weiss, and Dale List all honorable mention All-State honors. The Eagles were Saginaw News area champions both seasons. Tonight we're lucky to have that defensive coach, who's assistant coach on that team, Jim Weber, former athletic director Marco Marcette, who's in our Hall of Fame as an inductee, present football coach Phil Martin, and the present athletic director Kevin Schwindler, and we have some former players. Could you stand up and be recognized, please? Thank you, Coach, because I know Coach passed up 7-on-7 at John Glenn tonight. Thank you for coming. And finally, St. Marys Cathedral State Champion basketball team, 1952-53. Each of these inductees have liaisons, and they help guide these inductees through what they're going to have to wear for the banquet, what time to show up, looking for photos, all this good stuff. I happen to be the liaison for the St. Mary's team. I graduated from St. Mary's. And I found out exactly how much it meant to these individuals. This happened in 1952-53, so these gentlemen are in their 80s. What vivid memories they have of these events. Talked to Denny Troster. Remembered what hotel they stayed in. Remembered what restaurant they went to the night before the game, because they're good Catholic boys. Sam Franz took them to a fish restaurant the night before the game. They remember this. That's how important the state championship was to these, from that little high school right down the street, St. Mary's Cathedral. School's only state championship. They captured the Class C state title during the 1952-53 season. They were called the Maroons back then. When I went there, they were Red Raiders. They were the Maroons. They're coached by Leo Sam Franz, who's inducted into our Hall of Fame. They defeated Muskegon St. Mary's 59-57. And get this, in front of 9,600 fans at Michigan State University's Jennison Fieldhouse. 9,600 fans. St. Mary's finished its regular season with a 12-4 record. They lost 2 games each to St. Andrews and 2 to St. Pete's. That probably killed you guys. They were known as a high-scoring team for its era. They went to work early in district play at Arthur Hill. They started the tournament with a 71-48 victory over Michigan Lutheran Seminary. Who else? The Maroons, they met up with St. Pete's again. Third clash between the Maroons and the Midgets. They weren't the Crusaders, they were the Midgets. St. Mary's upended St. Pete's 59-43. It was probably one of the biggest victories in that school's history. They captured the district title. And I was looking it up the other night. They held St. Pete's to 17 of 79 shooting. 17 of 79. Regional play. This is the other thing that impressed me, is some of these schools that they played and beat no longer exist, which you'll see in a second. And the places they played no longer exist. Regional play, the Maroons topped Clarkston 55-48 in its first game. They ran past Flint Utley High School 70-56 in the regional semifinals. They played 3 games in the regionals. And in the regional championship game, they scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to propel them to a 72-59 win over Flint Sacred Heart. And that game was at the Flint IMA Auditorium. They ventured onto the regional. They played Grosse Pointe St. Paul's. St. Mary's halted St. Paul's 18-game win streak. They beat them, and they beat them convincing, 70-44. That Cathedral team, they went up against Hartford in the semifinal game. That game was at the Lansing Boys Vocational School, where they played a lot of the games. They had to go to overtime, and they beat Hartford 65-62 in overtime. In the state championship game against Muskegon St. Mary's, the 5 Maroon starters, seniors Denny Troster, Dave Woodcock, Ron Rupert, Hubert Hub-Lynch, and Bob McDonald, they played the entire game. No subs. All 5 starters were 6 feet or under. They played the entire game. 4 of the 5 starters scored in double figures. Other team members, Lloyd Pete Bishop, Tom Story, Terry McInerney, Tom Heiser, Jim Lefevre, and John Nicodemus. Danny Troster also remembered that Rudy Gonzalez was brought up to the varsity for the tournament. He also remembered that the team managers were Larry Hendrick and Tom Weddock. That shows you what vivid memories, special time it was for these gentlemen. Tonight, Dave Woodcock, Pete Bishop, and Hub Lynch are present. Could you gentlemen stand, please? Thank you for attending. These 8 individuals being inducted bring the total number of individual inductees to just 138. You got to remember that they've been playing sports in Saginaw County since the 1890s, and there's only 138 individuals. With Franklin St. Mary's, the total number of teams, only 36. Our 2016 induction banquet will be Sunday, November 6th. That's where they'll be honored. That will be at Horizon Conference Center in Saginaw Township. Social hours 3 p.m. Induction banquet start promptly at 4 p.m. Tickets are $45 each. This now concludes our press conference. Could we get a final round of applause for this class of 2016? Thank you for attending.